Hi there, you guys. I'm going to start this video by taking a look at the right calendar for your class. I'm sorry, I probably gave some of you quite a jolt when I said you had peer review next week. That was wrong. That was my English 2 class. I was looking at the calendar for that class instead. So here's your calendar. And what you have due next week are these two things. Let me start by taking a look at this one. All right, let me look at it this way instead. Okay, so this is, as it says, a pre-writing, pre-research specific topic selection assignment. I'm asking you to do several things here in this assignment. I'm asking you, first of all, to do a pre-writing, a brainstorm. And this is the kind of thing I've asked you to do before when we have written formal writing assignments in the class, Essay 1 and Essay 2. I asked you to do a similar kind of thing, where I'm asking you to think about what you already know or believe about the topic and reflect on that. Okay, reflect on your own experiences with race and ethnicity as a source of identity for yourself or for others. This can be about you or your observations of the world around you and other people. All right, what experiences or influences have shaped and continue to shape your concepts of racial ethnic identity, the views you have of others and yourself as belonging to a particular group based on race. What conscious or unconscious racial stereotypes do you have of others? And what do you think they have of you? What are some that you're aware of? Maybe you've had experiences, microaggressions, right? Where people are making assumptions about you based on their perception of your race and what that means. All right, Ortiz Cofer talks about this, right? The woman who tried to order coffee from her, microaggressed her, right? Ortiz Cofer has a PhD. She wasn't there to serve coffee. She was there to read her published poems. Okay. And then the material effects that these things have and the experiences that people have because of them, because of racial stereotypes and other ideas that people have about race. Okay. Because these aren't just abstractions. These have a concrete material implications for people's lives. All right, and this asks about racial profiling in particular. I gave you guys today a specific example of an experience I had with the police that was the opposite of racial profiling, right? The police officer, in my experience, assumed the best of me, that I was just a poor drunk 16-year-old trying to get home. And he helped me. But not everybody has that same experience with the police, as that video that I showed you part of hopefully exemplifies. All right, so that's the first part, a brainstorm, a reflection. And then the second part of this is to gather information from the sources. All right, yeah, I have to clarify this. Bear with me, I'm sorry. You're once again seeing the sausage getting made. Okay. But I fixed this in my other class, and I need to fix it for you too, because that's not super clear, those instructions that I gave you. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I don't want to waste time in this video doing this, but that's the way it is these days. There it is. Okay, I'm going to fix it real fast. Just copy and paste. All right, this makes more sense now, I think. Let me edit this. I'm doing it now because if I don't, I'll probably forget. Okay, there we go. All right, now this says list the main arguments. The thesis made in each of the readings assigned. So those 4 texts that I assigned to you, Ortiz Cofer, Gupp, Kennedy, and Rahab. What are each of their main points? What's their overall argument about the subject of their writing? With Ortiz, Kofer, and Gupp, it's about stereotypes. With Kennedy and Rahab, it's about racial profiling. So what are the main points that each of those authors are making about those topics? And then what are 3 points or pieces of evidence or specific examples presented in each article to support that main point? So for each of these articles, you're doing 2 things. You're identifying the main point that the author is making, what their main point is about the topic, and then you're listing 3 pieces of evidence they give to support that main point. 3 specific examples, okay, or experiences that they had, or supporting claims that they're making to support their overall claim, their overall argument. In the case of Kennedy and Rahab, it would be anti-racial profiling. Okay, what are the reasons that they give for why they're against it? Okay, and I hope that makes sense, because you're not here for me to ask you if it makes sense, because we're like this. All right, let me click save before I mess that up. Alrighty, where was I? Oh, I was up here. And then after you've done that, after you've done these first 2 bullet points, consider what you still need or want to find out about the topic. And make a list of questions you have, things you're not sure about, aspects of the topic that are intriguing. And then look for sources that will help address these questions that you still have. And you don't have to submit those sources that you find to this assignment. Okay, this is setting you up to do the source reports, this part right here that I have highlighted. Okay, so the intention here in asking you to do these things first, and then this 3rd thing, is that it will help you develop a specific focus so that you can do this thing, pick a specific topic. All right, and then once you pick your specific topic, those are going to be the sources you find. Okay, you're going to pick a specific topic and then find the 5 sources I told you need to find on your own. All right, and then for source reports, you're going to write reports on each of those 5 sources that you find on your own. Okay, so I've given you 4 readings and a documentary. Those are the assigned sources that you have for this project. And then in addition to that, you need to go find 5 on your own. Okay, so I made this into more of a research project than it had been previously, where I asked you to do a significant part of the research to develop the point that you want to make in response to this assignment. Okay, but you need a specific topic, because as with Essay 2, this is a very broad issue that we've been talking about. Okay, there are lots of aspects of it. And in a 7 to 9 page paper, you need to have a specific focus, some particular thing about the broad topic that you want to focus on for your paper, for your research and for your paper. Okay, and these are suggestions. You don't have to pick any of these. Maybe you have your own idea about what you want to focus on. When I was listening in on your conversations, I heard somebody, I can't remember who, saying that they wanted to focus on white privilege, right? And as an aspect of this topic, the broad topic of the social construction of race. And that's not listed here, but that's perfectly legitimate. If you want to do that, go for it. Okay, that's a good approach. Okay, but white privilege as it's related to institutional racism, because those things go together. Where does the white privilege come from? It comes from the deprivileging of other people. That's where it comes from. That white people in the US don't have to contend with many of the impediments to their, the success of the goals that they're trying to accomplish, that people of color do. And that gives white people an advantage in our system. Okay, as I yelled about previously. All right, but white nationalism, okay, people who want to keep it that way, who want to keep things the way they are, they think that, these are two different concepts, nationalism and supremacy. This one is about, we didn't get a chance to talk about this, but Gupp alludes to this, right? He alludes to, the Holocaust as a problem for us doing stereotyping the way that we do, okay? And nationalism is about people who, you know, most people who think about this agree are really supremacists, but they've tried to rebrand themselves. They said, no, we don't think we're better. We just think we deserve our own state. We deserve a state just for white people. So that's what white nationalism is about. Okay, but let me just depart from this for a moment to show you something that can help you. And I should put a link in here to this. Maybe I'll do that right now while you guys are watching. Okay, this right here, Google site that I've shown you a bunch of times. Let me move my Zoom window so I can function. I don't want to look at it that way. I want to look at it that way. This has some additional resources in it. Let me see which. I want supplemental. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, that can help you. And they're categorized according to the specific topic suggestions that I've given you. But there are more materials in here that you can look at. You can peruse these, right? To see what these different topic suggestions that I'm giving you here. And these topic suggestions that I've given you are based on the stuff that's in the readings. Okay, but there's a bunch more that you could focus on. The documentary that I gave you to watch, White Like Me, covers a pretty wide range of aspects of this issue, especially institutional racism as a part of the issue. Okay, but this website, on this website, I've gathered different resources that address different aspects of the issue. All of these are about racial profiling and police brutality. If that interests you, you can peruse these. Okay, all of these are about institutional racism generally. All right, this is very broad. The APA is very broad. And this one is about wealth inequality. Okay, and this is about the wealth gap. All righty, and I gave you my example of my parents versus that Black family with which I am acquainted, and the issue that example illustrates for the ability of families of color to build wealth and then pass that on to their children. These are some articles and some other kinds of sources that deal with that too. This is a radio program, Looking for a Home When Your Name is Hispanic. And this is about redlining, which is a practice in real estate where people of color are excluded from buying a home in certain areas, in certain neighborhoods. It says, in real estate, landlords redlining housing values and discrimination. This is about the Englewood housing market that I gave you as an example. This is about racial discrimination in education, okay? And this one is partly, where'd it go? Oh, this one right here, white adult professionals stereotyping children of color. This is part of this is about the way white teachers deal with children of color in their classes and how they treat them more harshly for the same misbehavior than they treat little white children in their classes. And this is more specifically about that. This is California schools move from suspensions to mindfulness because guess who gets suspended more? Little black and brown children do get suspended more. And this is about that too. All right, and this is about white supremacy versus white nationalism and the alt-right, which is another attempt by these people to rebrand themselves in a way that is more palatable so that they can get more people online with their views. And this is about immigration enforcement. This is all very current. I hope that's obvious to you guys. You know, the way this country is doing immigration right now discriminates on the basis of race, and I hope that's clear. I mean, Donald Trump just came right out and said, we don't want people from shithole countries, right? And you guys all know what he said about Mexican immigrants. They're not sending their best people. Right? I don't remember if I asked you guys this or not, okay? But I did ask one of my classes, and forgive me if I'm repeating myself here. But I was wondering aloud in one of my classes whether or not they thought that if there were white people from Canada trying to come in our country at the northern border, whether or not they would take those people's little children away from them. Okay, whether, you know, poor white people from Canada were trying to come into our country, whether they would be separated from their children and they would be put in cages. And I hope you agree with me that that is highly unlikely, if not completely ludicrous, to suggest that there is equity in the enforcement of our immigration laws. It's really, really obvious now that there isn't. Okay, racial stereotypes and identity. This is something that you can pick to focus on. All right, Ortiz, Kofer, and Gupp, that's what they focus on. And here are some more. And you guys are perfectly welcome to use any of these sources if you want. And then racial discrimination in health. And here's a bunch more resources. These are articles. Those other things are links. But as you can see, you can skim through these and see if you want to use any of them. Right, this one's about racial profiling. What's this one about? Okay, this is about what happened in Ferguson with Mike Brown being killed by that police officer. And these are about, oh, this is a classic of white privilege, you guys. Anybody who's interested in white privilege would probably want to look at this one. Peggy McIntosh, Unpacking the Invisible Knapsack. All of the assets that white people have, right, that they're not aware of because they don't have to think about it. All right, they don't have to think about stuff like that. And this is other stuff. Arizona immigration law is called the Papers, Please law, which says that police officers are not just entitled to, but are required to detain people in the state of Arizona that they suspect of being undocumented, not being legally in the country. So they are required to detain those people, and those people are obligated to produce documentation that proves that they're legal, okay, that they've entered the country legally, and they're here legally. All right, so you can peruse these on your own. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can check that out. In fact, I'm going to put this in. You're seeing me do this work again. It's constant. It doesn't end, especially because we're like this. I'm going to put this in here, right here, down here at the bottom. I'm going to say, you can refer to this website, I'm a terrible typer, as a way to, let's see, how should I put this? As a way to choose, I'll fix that later, your specific crap. Specific topic. All right, and I'm gonna paste as plain text. Then I'm gonna go over here, copy, and whoop, lock that in. All right, there we go. That's awkwardly stated, but I'll fix it later. All right, so there it is. That'll take you to here now. All right, let me close those so I don't confuse myself. Okay, so that's pick a specific topic. All right, and I hope that's clear because again, you guys aren't here. Oh, that's the wrong class. Okay, let me close that too. There it is. Okay, so that's this. Let me close that now. And then the next thing you need to do between now and when I see you again on the 3rd is this assignment right here. Okay, oops, I keep doing that. Let me open this in a new tab. These are the source reports that I alluded to earlier and that some of you had questions about. Okay, so the source reports are 5 reports that you're going to write on those 5 sources you find on your own. And this assignment is for the first 2. Okay, so for this assignment, this is just explaining. Okay, this is a broad overview of the source report assignment. This explains the whole source report assignment, all 5 of them. And in here, this is where it gets specific about the requirements for the first 2. Okay, so for the first 2, you need to find 1 peer-reviewed journal article from this database here, Academic Search Complete. All right, and for the second one, you need to find 1 article from ProQuest National Newspapers. These are databases that you have access to through your college library. And here's a search process that tells you the steps to go through to find the peer-reviewed journal article from this particular database. First, you get to your college library, and you may have to put in your student ID in order to access the database. But you go to the Cabrillo College website. Whoops, I gotta move my Zoom window so I can see what the hell I'm typing. No, I don't want CBS, I want CAB. There we go. All right, oh, I don't know why it looks like that. Now, let me try. That's not right. CAB. There we go. That's what I want. That looks better. Okay. Zoom window again. All right. And then from here, you just go down here to, this is how I get there, the library. And then when you get there, you go to articles and databases. Okay. And that's what that is. Articles and databases. There it is right there. And you click on that. And it takes you here. And there's Academic Search Complete. This is the database from which you need to pull your first source. And it's got to be a peer-reviewed journal article. Okay, oh, let me close that. So I'm not confusing myself. That's where I want to be. All right, there we go. So now we're here, Academic Search Complete. So once you get into Academic Search Complete, you're going to put in your search terms. Let me just show you. Oh, see, I got to put in my ID. Okay, so you put in your search terms, and then there we are, Academic Search Complete. You type in, let's just do racial profiling. Oh, why is it all caps? Thank you, Academic Search Complete, for saving me from typing. Hello, I'm selecting racial profiling. There we go. But crap, I don't want to do that. RACIAL. Profiling. I'm not ready to search yet. Okay, I don't know why. Okay, it's doing that. So I'll type it in myself. All right, good. It didn't automatically take me to the results because I don't want that. I don't want it to take me there yet. Okay, before you click search, you want to type in, you want to click, full text and scholarly peer-reviewed journals. Because the article that you find from this database has got to be a scholarly peer-reviewed journal article. Okay, if you write a report on an article that's not scholarly peer review, you're going to have to do it over. And I don't want that to happen to you. Okay, so be sure to click these things before you click search. You can also limit your search by date because the instructions say no more than 10 years old. Okay, so you can do that here or not. I don't care if you do that, but do click those 2 boxes and then click search. All right, and I got 327 results from that search. And over here, you can limit your search more. Right here, I said you can limit it by publication date. Oh, look, it's already limited to 10 years. All right, oh no, it's 20, okay. I'm bad at math, okay? So I want to slide this over to 2010. Okay, you can go back as far as 2009 because unfortunately we're not done with 2020 yet. Okay, so do you see that? It updated my results. Let's see how many I have now. Now I only have 233. Okay, so it got rid of the really old ones, which is good because you want recent ones. All right, and then, so here we are in the results. Let's take another look at our search process here. We did that. Okay, we did that. Did I click that twice? I did. Oh, yeah, okay. All right, so here we are in search results. Then you pick one article to download as a PDF. You don't need to print it. That's before. when we were in class together. You don't need to print it for now because we're just going to be submitting digital files. You can print it if you want and mark it up that way, okay? But you don't have to. All right, but here's the PDF full text. This is how you get to the file. You must download this file. All right, so you open it by clicking on it. All right, and there it is. There's the article. Okay, look, it's 21 pages. Peer-reviewed journal articles are long, okay? And just in case you don't know what a peer-reviewed journal article is, why it's called that, it's an article written by an expert. This guy probably has a PhD, okay, in this field, political philosophy. He probably has a PhD, okay? So it's written by an expert, and then it's reviewed by a bunch of other experts before it's published. So that's the peer review in peer-reviewed journal article. Is this guy's peers reviewed this article before it was published in this journal. Okay, so these types of articles have a high degree of credibility for your academic research. That's why you need to find at least one on your topic. And if you're unable to do that, email me and I'll help you. All right, I'm confident that there are peer-reviewed journal articles available on any of the topics I suggested. Okay, or any of the topics on this broad topic that we've been talking about. I'm confident that there are. Okay, so once you find your article and you decide which one, then you need to download it. Let me move my Zoom window back over, or over here, or right there. How's that? Okay. Then you need to download it, and you can do that in a couple different places. You can do it here, download PDF. Do you see this little drop down that goes away when I move my cursor? Wait for it. It's going to go away. There it went away. But if you hover, it comes back, and you can download it right here. You can print it. Okay. You can email it to yourself. You can print it right there as well. Okay. You can add it to a folder if you want. You can cite it. All right. You're going to need to have an MLA formatted works cited entry for each of these articles that you find for your source report. And you can get the database to do that for you, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, but you need to download it as a PDF and save it to your device because you're going to have to upload it to this assignment. All right, and that's what all of this says. Okay, you're going to upload probably 3, maybe 4 files. This says download. Download the file. Why? There we go, download the file. And this gives a picture of where you can do that. Okay, you're going to need to download it and save it to your device so you can upload it to this Canvas assignment. You have to submit both of the article PDFs, so that's 2 files you need to submit to this assignment, and then a 3rd file that contains both of your reports formatted separately, or 2 separate report files. So 3, maybe 4 files you're submitting to this assignment. Okay, and back to citation, you can use this tool in the database to help you format your works cited entry, which needs to go into your report. And here's a drop-down menu. Let me move this. Let me move myself again. All right, these are not our style. We want MLA, and there's MLA. Okay, so you pick MLA. Okay, and it gives you instructions for how to cite it, how to do citations. Where's the little tool that it will help cite it for yourself? Cite it for you. The database cites it for you. Huh, I don't want to spend time looking for that in this video, but it's in here. I thought it was that, but perhaps not. Okay, because this just gives us instructions about how to. I don't see anywhere else to click. Okay, but I'll show this to you in ProQuest. I'm certain you can do it in here too, but I don't want to spend time looking for where. Okay, in this video. So that's academic search complete for this assignment right here. And then ProQuest National Newspapers is the second kind of article you need to find for this assignment. And here's another search process that shows you how to use the ProQuest database to find an article on your topic. a newspaper article on your topic. And that's going to open shortly, I'm sure. But let me go here and just demonstrate. Let me go back, and back, and back again. Yes, I want to do resubmission. There we are. Okay, so this is the college library website. And over here, where's ProQuest? See, you guys, they move stuff around. Where'd they put ProQuest? There's Gale, which is one of the types. Films on demand. Films on demand. There it is. No, that's science. Newspaper Source Plus. Maybe they got rid of ProQuest, and I have to fix this. I love it when they change things. Okay, let's look at this one. Maybe this is what we want. No, that's EBSCOhost. Okay, I don't want that. All right, I'll have to look into this. I don't want to belabor this video while I look around for stuff because they change things on me. All right, I'm probably looking at it right now and I just don't see it because I'm tired. All righty, but I'll figure this out and I'll send out an announcement about it. Okay. All right, but it used to look like that. And I don't know where it went. Maybe they got rid of it. Alrighty, but I'll figure that out. And this was more details about how to use that database, which seems to no longer be available to you to do this. But I'll come with an alternative and I'll change all of this. All right. But that's how you do these. All right, that's how you do the research to find the 2 articles. And then the next step is to write the report. Okay, the 2 reports, 1 to 1.5 pages each that you need to do on these articles that you found through those databases. First, you state your research question. Then you format the source info as an entry for your works cited, which I was trying to show you in Academic Search Complete, how to get that database to format that works cited entry for you. All right, and this is a template for how to format the report. The report that you write on the 2 articles that you find has to be formatted in a particular way so that I can process them, so that I can make sense of the information quickly that you're giving me in the report. All right, come on, Internet. There we go. That's what it should look like. So just look at this example and copy it. Okay, yours should look like this one. It should have a header that has this stuff in it. It should have a heading that has this stuff in it. Excellent student, that's you. Okay, and then there's the research question. And at this point in your research question should be, you know, if you're writing about racial profiling, something like, is racial profiling ever justified? If you're going to write an argument about that, okay? Or if you're just looking for information and you want to do an analysis of racial profiling as an issue, your research question could be something like, what are the facts about racial profiling? Because that's what you want to find out, right? And then this is the works cited formatted entry of the source information that I mentioned you need to include in your report. This is an example. And then your first paragraph of the report should be a brief summary of what's in the article. What's the article about? Briefly summarize it. You know, several sentences. It doesn't have to be long. After that, analyze the report and maybe offer some criticisms of it if you have any. But if you don't, does it seem reliable? Is it current? Okay, is the research biased or objective, etc.? Who's the author? You can find out a little bit about that person. And then after summarizing and then analyzing it, you need to explain how right now you think it's going to be useful to you. How do you think you'll be able to use it to develop and support your ideas for this project? Because that's really the purpose of doing the research, is to find sources that you can use to develop this project. And if you have no idea how this source is going to be useful to you, then you should find another one, right? Because you will have wasted your time. You need to find a source that you think you're going to be able to use. Maybe in the end, you'll decide you don't use it, and that's fine. But you need to be able to articulate how you think right now it's going to be useful to you. All right, so this is an example of how to format the report. If they're not formatted correctly, I'm not going to grade them. I'm going to kick them back to you and say, do it over. Okay. I need to put the annotated copy in there. I have a sample student source report that is annotated, which means I marked it up, explaining what the different parts mean of it, the way that it's organized. And this is a link to an item in Module 1 that explains how to submit multiple files to a single Canvas assignment. Because remember, I said you're going to need to submit at least 3, maybe 4 separate files to this assignment. 3 or 4 because of Google Docs. If you're working in Google Docs, as you may know, Google Docs only allows the submission of one Canvas only allows the submission of one Google Doc file to a single assignment. I don't know why, it's annoying, but that's the way it is. So if you're working in Google Docs, you can put both of your reports into one file, and I hope that makes sense. You just need to format them separately. Okay, so on one page, you should have your first source report that looks like this. And on the second page of your Google Doc file, or the third page, if your first report is longer than one page, you should have all of this. You don't need to repeat this stuff if it's in one file. Okay, just say source reports 1 and 2 in the header if both reports are in one file. Okay, but all of this stuff should be formatted separately with a separate research question, separate works cited formatted entry, separate paragraphs summarizing, analyzing, and explaining how you're going to use the source. Okay, all right, and that's that for source reports 1 and 2. I hope that makes sense. All right, and then these are the other source report assignments that you're going to have in Canvas before I see you again on the 3rd. All right, I'll look at this one with you, but these are pretty straightforward, I think. And if you have any areas of confusion while you're working through these, this gives you another tutorial for how to find an article from this database, Opposing Viewpoints. Let's see if they're still calling it that. There it is right there. Okay, that one's still in there, and they're still calling it that. They're not calling it, oh, let me close that. They're not calling it Gale anymore. What? Yeah, okay, I've got it right. Yeah, and these differ from institution to institution too. So it's different at Hartnell than it is at Cabrillo. It's difficult to keep up with. They're just calling it Opposing Viewpoints, but that's the database. All right, and this is what it looks like. All right, and then there's where you put in your search terms. And let me do it. Racial profiling. Thank you, Gail. Opposing Viewpoints. All right, and you're going to get an overview, but this is not what you need to pick for this particular assignment. Right? It says here you need to find an article from Viewpoints. Let me show you what that means. This is the Viewpoints tab. Look, there's 121 of them. These are articles that are making an argument about the topic. And you can tell just from the titles where the writers of these articles stand in a debate about racial profiling. Okay, you can see that. So you need to pick one of these. All right, and you open them by just clicking on the title, and that opens it. All right, there's article commentary, there's the article. And then again, you need to download these as PDF files. And that's where you download it, right there. Okay, you click that. And you know, they changed this database too, so I'm gonna click in. Oh, okay, it just opens it. And then you wanna save it to your device so that you can upload it to Canvas for this assignment. Okay, and that's that. Let me close that. Alrighty, let me close that and go back here. See if there's anything else that might need explaining in here. Oh, there's the sample source report that I need to put. It's not Not opening. Okay, I need to fix that. And there it is. All right, I'll put a preview tab in there so that you guys don't have to download it if you don't want to. Okay, and here's how to, oh, shoot. Let me show you again, one more thing in here. Rachel, let me see if they'll help me. Yep, they did, thank you. The less I can type, the better, because I'm a bad typer. Okay, so for these articles, okay, the works cited formatted entry is down here. There's MLA8, so they did it for you. All you need to do is copy and paste this into your report. And then you can copy and paste it into your works cited page for your final draft, okay, from your report, and that's that. Okay, let's see. Let me go back to my calendar here. That was 3. 4 is credible websites. Let me talk about those with you. Oh, this video is taking a long time. Okay, so these are instructions for how to go about finding a website. Okay, of the 5 sources you find, one of them needs to be a website. And these are some tips for how to go about determining the credibility of a website for academic purposes. And because we use websites for all different kinds of purposes, but if you're going to be writing an academic paper, which you are here, you need to pick a good, credible website. Okay, and this explains that it shouldn't be too ideological unless, and you can read this on your own, it should be for a legitimate, relevant organization or person of authority on your topic, not just some schmo on the internet. Because as you guys probably already know, anybody can put up a website, and anybody does. And many, 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 many of them are not credible. Okay, one way you can make a determination about the credibility of a website is by looking at the domain name. .com stands for commercial, meaning that its purpose is to make money. Okay, this is military, this is the United States, a government website. This is an educational website, cabrillo.edu. Right? These are pretty credible. If you do a search for your topic and one of the results is a .edu, that would be a good one for you to pick. Okay. .gov, that's a government website. These used to be very credible, although the Trump administration has been messing with the federal government's websites. But there's .ca.gov, that's a California state government website. .org versus .com. .org means it's nonprofit. This means it's for profit. Okay, but nonprofit doesn't mean automatically credible. Right? If you find a nonprofit organization, or a .com doesn't mean automatically not credible, right? You need to take another step to determine the credibility of a website. And you can do that by looking at their about page. Okay, so for example, let me do racial profiling, PRO, oh no, profiling. Those are some other searches I've done in the past. All right, the ACLU, you can see I've been here before because it's purple. All right, if we go to this website, if we don't know what the ACLU is, and we go to their website, first they ask us for money, of course, but we scroll past that and we can see an about page, all right, of this website that can tell us who's behind, what their mission is, and who's behind this organization. All right, this is a very reputable, long existing organization, and I happen to know that. But if I didn't, I could read about it and see who's behind it. And most websites have some about page, or our mission page, or our board of directors page. You can see what people are making the decisions about what gets published on that website. No Yahoo Answers, no How Stuff Works, no Ask.com, and I'm sorry, but no Wikipedia. Okay, Wikipedia isn't as bad as these other ones for academic purposes. At least Wikipedia sources its reports, right? You can scroll down to the bottom of a Wikipedia report and see what the sources are that were used to develop it. But Yahoo Answers, How Stuff Works, or Ask.com, oftentimes there aren't even named authors for these for the things that are published on these sites. So we don't really know if the person who wrote an article really knows how stuff works, right? Or if they just, you know, typed out a report and then sold it to this website for their $50 and they don't really have any credentials. All right, so those won't work for your credible scholarly website. Also try to avoid these if you can, because newspapers have websites and you were already asked to find a newspaper article for source report 2. And I want you at the end to come up with a variety of different types of sources, like I say right here. Okay, and here are some tips. Let's see if that'll work. No, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. I have to fix that. Okay, but your college librarians have developed, let me see if I can go back and find it, have developed some tips for you to help you determine the credibility of websites. All right, and I will find those and I will paste those in to this. All right, and you need to provide me with a link to the website content. You can just paste the link by going copy, paste into your report file. And then I can follow that. I can follow links to the internet from your reports. I can't follow links to documents in databases. That's why I'm insisting that you give me the PDFs so that I can see the thing that you're writing about in your report. Alrighty, okay, let's see, what else? Anything else in this overly long video? Source report 5, let me just quickly take a look at this with you guys. Okay, and this is different types, and again, you can use Google to find these. Reference works, you can use your college database, your college library website. CQ Researcher is a great reference work. Okay, they have reports on all kinds of things. If you type racial profiling in here, PROF, are you going to fill it in for me? No, I have to type the whole thing. Darn it. I'm sure that you can find either that or policing. Look, there's a report on racial profiling right there. It's pretty current. It's current enough, right? It's no more than 10 years old. Racial conflict. This one's 2016. Systemic racism. This is 2020. Okay, and this is very recent. It's about the killing of George Floyd. I think it's a short report though, because they're not giving it to us as a PDF. Here's one on housing discrimination. That is institutional racism. This you can view as a PDF. Let's look at this one. And you'll see how wonderful CQ Researcher is if you didn't already know. Look at this. They give you a wonderful overview, and these are objective, you guys. Okay, this is a super important resource for you to know about as a college student. All right, they give you an overview. They tell you what all the issues are around this issue of housing discrimination. Okay, they give you lots of great graphs and lists. Disability complaints, discrimination in terms of disability is very high in housing. Race, it's pretty high. Families with children. Hey, they don't have discrimination with families with pets in here. Okay, that's not fair. All right, current government policy. So this is really great. There's a pro-con in here, I think, usually. Let me see if I can get there quick. A chronology that tells you how this issue has developed over time. Okay, let me see if the pro-con is in here. Oftentimes they'll give you both sides of the debate where people are making arguments. There we go. All right, so should Congress block HUD's new fair housing rule? All right, which is going to try to address discrimination in housing. Keith Ellison says, no, they shouldn't block it. It should pass. This guy says, yes, they should block it. It shouldn't pass. And they each have their reasons. And this was during the Obama administration. They were making these arguments. Okay, but CQ Researcher is awesome, just to show you. All right, but that's a reference work. Interviews with experts, you can use Google to search for interviews with experts. Just type in your topic and type in interview with expert. TED Talks, you can use Google to search for those. TV and or radio news reports from credible organizations like those news organizations that you're familiar with, like NPR or NBC or CBS or CNN, right? Notice I didn't say Fox News. Sorry, Fox News is not a credible news organization. A documentary about your topic. I bet I can find a documentary about racial profiling. Let me see. Oh, IALPROFILING. Oh God, I spelled the right way. Google will help me. A documentary. Pretty straightforward. Enter. See, thank you, Google, for helping me. You knew what I meant. Racial Profiling 2.0, full documentary. Now, it's CBS, okay, which is a credible news organization. And I happen to know that. This is from Vulture. I would probably want to look at that. 12 documentaries about police brutality in America. So they're not going to give me access to the documentary. And what you want is you want one for free. This looks like a video. All right, and another thing you can do is use the video tab that Google gives you. And you can see this is a 23-minute one. That's pretty short, but it might be okay. You would want to look at it and see if it's useful to you. All right, PBS. Okay, PBS, it does good work. Black America since MLK and Still I Rise, racial profiling. This looks pretty good. 2016, it's pretty current. Let's take a look at it. And it's free. Oh, this looks like just a trailer. Can we watch the whole thing? It's about affirmative action. This is just 30 seconds, 1 minute and 40 seconds. Oh, okay. Here's the whole thing. Good, here's the whole thing, and you can watch it. All right, it's not, oh, I'm clicking too many times because I'm impatient. Yeah, so this is a good one. This is almost 2 hours long. So you might not want to watch this one, but this is one that would work. You want to pick one that's substantial enough if you're picking a documentary, 30, 45, 50 minutes at least, okay, so that it has enough in it for you to use. All right, and you can use Google, like I just demonstrated, to search for a documentary, to search, as I said, for interviews with experts, TED Talks, etc. Okay, and if you still have any questions about how to do any of these source reports, you know, contact me and I'll help you. But I think I should end this video now. It's gone on pretty long. All righty, and I covered most of it. I covered all of these things, good for me. And then we'll meet again on the 3rd, and we'll talk about some more stuff relative to our work on this project, the Essay3RP research project. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and stop this now. Alrighty, and like I said before, I hope you have a good weekend. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.